What is happening, everybody? As you noticed, I'm wearing the hat. I'm out in the woods. That means one thing and one thing only. Cellar hole hunting today. It's been a long winter. I've been a good boy. I'm out in the woods playing today. Let's get this video started. So as most of you know, I moved over the winter due to a family member passing, and that's why I haven't been out metal detecting since last September. We're at the end of March now. Just getting the house ready for me to get into and settled in over the winter. So now that I'm in a new area of the state, it affords me new cellar holes to prospect, and that's what I'm doing today. This is a colonial roll that's been buffed out pretty wide. People hike along it, but there's a pile of cellar holes along it, as you can see from the map that I got overlaid here. I'm at the first stop, which is a pretty big cellar hole right behind me here, and it's got a center stacked chimney. Now, chances are these places have been hit, but there's so much going on at this first property, and then up behind me is a second one I'm going to go hit, and then down that road is a lot more cellar holes, and then even beyond that, there's other roads that have probably another half dozen or so cellar holes. So I'm looking at a good dozen just in this area alone. And like I said, most of them are hit. But let's get this video going and find out what's at them. Well, as predicted, this place is a little beat up. It didn't take me long to start moving away from the cellar hole. And this is my first real tone so far. And even it was kind of an iron, brassy, it could have been a buckle tone. I don't know what it is. I can get up close there. I don't know if you can see that. And there's some knurling around the edge. And I thought it was an ox knob, but it wasn't hitting right. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's particularly old, but it's a start. Let's keep digging. Wow. Well, I've been at it a bit here, and I've done some wandering around. I left the first site. Kind of up above the first site is a second site that I'm kind of meandering my way down the old trail to, and digging stuff here and there. Nothing good. It's all been hit, but somebody missed a target and I got it. This one was 50s, 60s, 70s. I don't know why it was so jumpy, but it's interesting. Let's turn around and take a look because it's frozen in the plug. And there's part of what broke free. You can see imprint of some lettering, and it's nice and green. And we look over at the plug. I am looking at a button with 3 letters on it. And a little dark. I'm on the wrong side of the plug here where the sun is. Let me carefully pop this out of the plug because I think I got a convex button, some sort of organization on it. Let's pop it out of here, get a closer look. And that's what I wound up with. I believe that says MSH. It's possible it's HSW, but then it doesn't look right as a W. It looks a little more proper as an M. So I will put the info up when I figure this one out, because I have no clue. I don't think it's horribly old because it's got a bit of a, looks like a 2-piece iron back. I'll have to clean that up a little better when I get home, but that's my guess. MSH, and let's keep digging. So what I have here is actually an interesting button. It looks like it's tied to the Civil War, and I was able to ID the button pretty darn quick thanks to a book that I bought a bunch of years ago when I got into the hobby, The Record of American Uniform and Historical Buttons by Alpheus Albert. This is a great piece to have if you live in an old area and you're metal detecting. You tend to get buttons, or you may have a little military history. This will save you a lot of Googling that Google may not always tell you what you were looking for, because this button didn't even pop up easily on Google. I got this out of the book, 2 or 3 minutes. Well worth it. So, MSH stands for the Michigan Soldiers Home, and this was one of the old soldiers' homes that was opened up when we realized that we needed to take care of our aging veterans. The first one was approved for the Navy in 1811 and wasn't opened up until 1834 at the Philadelphia Boatyard, if I remember my history correctly. Post-Mexican War, post-Civil War, there was more of a push to keep opening more of these homes across the United States because we had more and more aging veterans. So the Michigan Soldiers Home was opened up at some point in the late 1800s. The gentleman who wore this button in Connecticut, I don't know who he is. I don't know which home he lived in this area of cellar holes. I'd have to do more history, but very interesting. He was an honorably discharged veteran, Michigan Soldiers Home, settled to Connecticut. You never know, history's so odd. So let's get back to the dig, see what else I got today. That button I dug out of that road was the road I was going from cellar hole number 1 to cellar hole number 2, and I'm at cellar hole number 2 now, and it's a little trashy. I didn't get anything on the walk into the cellar hole, and this place is loaded with barberry. If you didn't look around for the cellar hole, you'd never find it, especially in the summer when the barberry would be grown in. So let's spin around real quick and have a look, and maybe someone will recognize this spot. And she got a pretty good footprint on this one. Not quite as big as the last one, but it's still got a sizable one. And there's your center stack fireplace. And the reason I ask is there's like a bed frame right there, and there's some iron stacked on top of the center stack there. So I'm sure somebody will recognize this spot. But you can see this place is polluted with barberry. Absolutely polluted. And in the summer this would be nothing but green. I had an idea where the cellar hole was from the rise, I can see, but yeah, this place would be a mess in the summer. But I'm hoping there's going to be some relics in here, so let's jump in. All this swinging through this mess may dig something up for me. Alright, boys and girls, this is where I'm going to be diving. I spent 3 or 4 hours out at this site and that second site farther up the hill, and they didn't pan out. I'm down in what's now a small animal pen from the first site, and I'm just digging tin. So that tells me how much this house was occupied until at least until the mid 1800s or so, if they got tin here. So I will be back again soon, probably in this area, because down that road is another good 3 or 4 cellar holes I didn't go to. I just stopped at site 1 and 2 today. So next weekend, weather permitting, I'll be out. I'll make another video, and we'll see you guys soon with something else.